Android users, you can now have TYT in the palm of your hand. Our TYT app is available for download in the Google Play Store. Just go to tyt.com/app to find out more. Hey, good news, everybody. A couple of months ago, the DNC said, we are not taking any more money from fossil fuel companies. Hey, terrific, okay? So, and just when people thought the DNC didn't have any principles and weren't really progressives. No, they're standing up. These guys lead to climate change. It's terrible for our environment, it's terrible for our health. And the DNC has morals and principles. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm getting word that they have changed their mind. Yeah, kind of knew that before the story started. We're having fun. We're having fun with disastrous stories. So, guess what happened? At the end of last week, there was a new resolution. The resolution introduced by DNC Chair Tom Perez states that the party supports fossil fuel workers, hilarious, and will accept donations from employers' political action committees. Wait, I thought you were all of a sudden concerned about the fossil fuel employees. So if you said, hey, and there was a proposal, by the way, you work at a fossil fuel company, you're American like everybody else, you got a right to donate and to care about this country, no problem, and how about letting them donate as employees up to $200, okay, to show their personal interest in the Democratic Party or particular candidates. That makes sense. That proposal was defeated. Instead, what they're going to do is, to help the workers, they're going to take money from their employers. That's not helping the workers. That's taking money from the companies themselves so that you will serve those companies. Let's call it what it is. I got more details. So this is their explanation, the DNC's. The new resolution nods to, quote, forward-looking employers, oh, I'm sure, that are, quote, powering America's all of the above energy economy and moving us towards a future fueled by clean and low emissions energy technology, from renewables to carbon capture and storage to advanced nuclear technology. Yeah, in other words, yeah, we're taking money from the fossil fuel companies. That's what we decided to do. But don't worry, the DNC assures you, as they have year after year. Oh no, when we take millions of dollars from fossil fuel companies, we will not serve them. We'll just take their money and then actually fight for climate change. We'll see at the end of the story if Democrats have actually done that, but I don't need to explain it to you. It doesn't matter if you're a Democrat or a Republican or an independent. You already know how this story ends. You know it as a big picture. The only people in the world who believe that politicians take money from giant corporations and do not do what those corporations say are the people who are on television or who work in Washington. All of the rest of us know that that's total and utter horse crap, that it's bribes, and yes, you work for them. Just admit it, I know they won't. And they'll say, how dare you? The Democrats who take bribes are so much more honest than the Republicans who take bribes. No, they're just dumber, as I'll explain the facts behind that in a second as well. So, a DNC spokeswoman said that the resolution came in response to concerns from labor that the original fossil fuel donations ban was, quote, an attack on workers. Get the hell out of here. An attack on workers. I mean, look, I was gonna take money from ExxonMobil, and I want to, because I don't want to attack their workers. No, you just want to take bribes from ExxonMobil. Just say it. Your patronizing language here is so annoying. You think we're stupid. Look, I'll grant you that it probably does work, because the mainstream media will largely write it as like, oh, they are concerned about the workers. That's what they said. That's what, I'm a stenographer. That's what they say, that they were concerned about the workers. Please. Now, is labor concerned? Do the unions from those industries also want to give money to the DNC? Probably, yes. And is the DNC also affected by that, and maybe even more affected by that? Maybe. So is there a labor and union angle here? Yes. Is that smart way of conducting politics? No. Like I said, numbers in a second. But so what do activists think? Because if it's a good-hearted effort and they're actually trying to help the workers, but the people who care about climate change, well, they'll come out and say, no, guys, you're misreading it. It's really not that bad. No, they're furious. I can give you a lot of quotes. I'll just give you one tweet here from Kate Aronoff. She said, to put a fine point on it, this proposal isn't to let union members keep donating to the DNC. It's to let fossil fuel executives keep donating and selling influence among Democrats. Certain unions, including building trades, see their interests as aligned with those of executives. And that is exactly what is wrong with the union strategy as well as the Democratic Party's strategy. A lot of the unions are in favor of money in politics because they're like, well, we give money too. Conservatives ask me all the time, whether it's an organization like Wolfpack that wants to get money out of politics, wolf-pack.com. We say it's nonpartisan. They're like, oh, really? Would you take the union money out? Yes, yes, yes. We would definitely take the union money out of politics. We would also take the corporate money out of politics. We would take all private financing of elections out of politics because otherwise they work for private interests. And I don't care much if it's the unions or corporations. I don't want anyone bribing our politicians. And in this case, it's both. So let's examine now the numbers that I promised you on whether this is a good strategy or not vis-a-vis the Republican Party. And by the way, Alexander Kaufman writing a very good piece here in HuffPost that I'm quoting. He writes, oil and gas companies spent a record $7.6 million on Democratic races in 2016. Well, I'm sure they wanted nothing in return. Anyway, but let's keep going. Let's see if that's a good strategy. That's a pittance compared to the $53.7 million in direct donations to Republicans, who received 88% of the industry's contributions during that election cycle. Republicans have taken in 89% of the industry's donations so far in 2018. That figure rises to 95% of the coal sector's largesse this year. So, what do you think the oil companies are paying the Democrats for? It's obvious that they like the Republicans more because the Republicans deregulate them more, they cut their taxes, they let them get away with endangering their workers. They love the Republican Party. So why bother giving 12% of the Democrats? So that you could buy their pathetic compliance. Be a good boy, okay? Democratic Party, sit down and shut up and let the Republicans do whatever they want, and then do your job, go on a press conference and say, oh, there was nothing we could do. Oh my God, I mean, I happen to take millions of dollars from the fossil fuel companies. I happen to only take 12% because I'm an idiot, and I happen to be a loser and I'm paid to be a loser. But when the Republicans said that the fossil fuel companies can do whatever they want, oh golly gee, there was nothing I could do. They are the Washington Generals to the Republicans' Harlem Globetrotters in corruption. By the way, if you're a Republican, what are you celebrating? If you're a Republican voter, are you celebrating that the Republicans have won the corruption game? That they're more corrupt? No, the Republican Party is loathsome, they're vomitous. But we already know their corruption. And I know there's some Republican voters that are out there denying, oh yeah, we're draining the swamp. Yeah, good luck with that horse crap too. But the Democratic Party pretends to be on our side, and for 2 months, I mean, what a pathetic effort. For 2 months, they're like, oh, we will be principled for 2 months, and then we will turn our back on you as always, because our job is to lose. How do you think taking 12% of the money is going to lead to victories for you? It is going to lead to inevitable losses. Here's a crazy idea. I know you can't get off the crack of donor money because it goes into your pocket. It goes into the pockets of the people who work at the DNC, their lobbyist friends, their consultant friends, it goes into all your pockets. But what does it lead to? It leads to permanent losses. How could you possibly win with 12%? So the crazy idea is, don't take the money, run uncorrupted campaigns where you go and tell the American people, God damn it, aren't you sick of the corruption? Every single poll says yes, God damn it, yes, they're sick of the corruption. That message will light this country on fire. It'll work with independents, it'll even work with some Republicans because they hate the corruption, their voters hate it, right? Instead, you're like, I'm gonna be just as corrupt, but take less money. Do you think that's a good strategy? No, I think you're a goddamn loser and corrupt. Am I being clear enough? So what do they buy? What are the results? Let's take a look, because some Democrats claim to really care about climate change. Some don't even bother. But these are the ones that claim to care. On the national level, most bills from Democrats who purport to be Congress's biggest climate hawks amount to half measures, either exempting major polluters such as the meat industry, directing carbon tax revenues that could be used to mitigate the effects of climate change, to lowering taxes, of course, to serve their donors even more, or waiting until 2050 to end fossil fuel use. And that's the best proposals we have. The rest of the Democratic Party is even worse shape. Barney Frank once said when being interviewed on the Young Turks, what do you want us to take? None of the banker money instead of 20%? Yes, Barney Frank, you schmuck. If you take 20% of the donor money, then you're in a 4-1 hole. I don't know if you can do math. They're gonna outgun you 4-1. You're always going to be in a permanent minority status. For what? For their crumbs? You beg these donors for their crumbs. And then they get mad at me for getting mad. If you're not mad, you're not paying attention. Young Turks. 2 easy ways to follow the Young Turks. One is hit the subscribe button down below, then you're a TYT subscriber. And second is ring the bell. And when you do that on YouTube, you're notified of our videos.